of God's beautiful people. I needed to document and make a video of a precious encounter my wife and I had last night. Most everybody who follows our ministry and our pages know that I'm very open about living a positive life. After chronic illness and multiple autoimmune diseases, I've been through a lot medically in the fleshly realm, but spiritually, God has shown me so much through my journey. I am old-fashioned, Bible-believing, God-loving, broken man of God. Nothing without Him. I made enough of a mess out of my life, but I thank God for His grace, His love and forgiveness, His mercy. But those that know my story know that I openly share about everything I go through. Good days and bad, because God's good and He deserves our praise even when we have a bad day and maybe we're facing huge situations of negativity, whether it's financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, it doesn't matter. God still deserves our praise. Well, we had a special event last night. See, ever since I got put on my deathbed more than once, even had to have the home health nurses come in and later hospice nurses come in to care for me when I couldn't care for myself. As the diseases have all progressed far beyond what any doctors thought that was even possible. As I live with MS, Crohn's disease, systemic lupus, SLE nephritis, severe RA, and some other stuff that I don't talk about. That's even worse. But God's even bigger. But since I went through that journey, and I was down so low physically, I started realizing some things from the Bible differently. In our weakness, He's made strong. That truly when we come to the end of ourselves, pride, arrogance, ego, our personalities, when we come to the end of all that and we're laying there just begging for another breath or begging for relief of pain, all of a sudden there's an intimacy with God that you find that I believe He wants us to be walking in, even when we're having the good days, even when we don't fight to stay alive or worry about every breath or dealing with every moment of pain. I think God still wants that intimacy, even when we're having a good day. But because of these things, because of this thorn in my flesh, just like Paul spoke about, tormentors sent to him, ravaging his body like tormentors from hell every day. I relate to that, y'all. I can relate to what he's saying. But in the middle of that, when I'm at my weakest and lowest point, is when I start hearing from God more clearly. I start experiencing the spirit realm more vividly. I've been going through a battle for a while that I've tried not to talk a lot about because I don't want my social media accounts to only be about pain and struggles medically. I want it to also be about spreading God's love and encouraging people, uplifting people. But last night we were at our house, my wife and I, sitting in our recliners. And I've been maintaining almost an 8 out of 10 on the pain scale for days. While I've been pushing through trying to serve and help and take care of other people, I've been rough. And I started praying. I said, God, I need a break. Kidneys have been struggling. The pains have been pretty unbearable. And I don't want to just let them load me up with pain medicine because then it could affect my personality. I don't want it to hinder my connection with God. So a lot of times I just tough out the pain. And that's what I was doing last night. I was just so miserable. Asking God for a little bit of a break. And while we were sitting in our living room, I didn't even give my wife any indication what was going on. But I saw an angel literally move over to behind me. And it's the first time I've ever felt a touch like this. I've seen angels. I've seen a lot of angels. This angel's hand just came down right on my kidney, on my right side. And it just put his hand on my kidney. And at first, all I felt was just this radiating heat. But I noticed the pain started letting up. And I look over at my wife. And I said, I gotta tell you something. And she said, I know, I keep seeing something out of the corner of my eye. And it's over there behind you. And I said, it is. I said, I want you to give me your hand. I want you to put your hand on my back, on my kidney. And so she leaned over. And she put her hand on that right side. And she said, oh my goodness, it's hot. I said, check the rest of my back. Check the left one. So she put her hand all over my back, the left side, nothing. But right where that angel's hand was, my wife literally felt the heat from that miracle that I got in our living room last night. And it makes me wonder sometimes how often, how many times a day are we praying and asking God for an answer or for a touch? How many times a day are we missing these same experiences? because we're too focused on the physical. Because we're too focused on the bills, the stress, the things to do, the chore list, our schedules. But y'all, we got visited by an angel last night. My kidney started working again. And my pain level almost completely disappeared just from the touch. Now, I know a lot of my Christian friends have never experienced anything like this. They've never seen miracles. I've got Christian friends who literally recently we've been talking and they're like, I've never witnessed anything like this. And it's hard for them to understand or believe, but I'm telling you, God does not love me any more than he loves you. The same God in the Old Testament, the New Testament, all the way through the Bible, he's the same today. The same way Jacob could even physically wrestle with an angel to receive blessings. I feel like I could have reached back and shook that angel's hand because I felt his hand physically touch me. And I'm telling you, the radiating warmth came all the way through my organs. So much that my wife could even still testify to the exact location of that angel's hand because the outline of the heat was right there on my kidney. It was an overwhelming, amazing experience. But I want to share with somebody that these experiences can be yours too. If you'll push in, press in. Seek God's face every moment of every day. You start to get stressed, give it to God. You start to have anxiety, say, God, please help me. God, take this. Start to worry about your children or worry about lost loved ones' salvation. You immediately, God, they're in your hands, please. You turn things over to God, you give things to God, and you stay in a constant attitude of prayer. Like Paul said, pray without ceasing. That's a connection to God every moment of every day. That's what I strive for. Sadly, it's only in those times when I'm really bad when I actually get to see and experience actual angels. Because I know they're around everywhere all the time, and I don't get to see them all the time. So I'm still on a journey that I don't understand. Risking everything, risking my ministry, my reputation, to share these testimonies when they happen. As fewer and fewer churches have me come and preach because that's the crazy guy that's seeing angels now. But they're the ones missing out. They're the ones missing out. Because this is how God has worked throughout all of time. And the spirit realm is real. Same way you like to picture all your guardian angels and all the angels around. I'm telling you, there's just as many forces of darkness around that are trying to always trip you up and mess you up and cause you to go negative, cause you to get discouraged, cause you to live stressed, distracted. That's why it's so important to be so filled with God's Holy Spirit and walking with the full armor of God, because that's the only way we're going to make it. It's the only way we can make it through all the things that are ahead. But we got touched by an angel last night. My wife got to feel and see our visitor last night. Feel the touch on my back from that heat It stayed there for almost 15 minutes, and then it was gone. I love y'all. And I know some of y'all say my videos are too long. But maybe it's because you need to turn off some of your things that have you distracted and spend some time with God. If you can't sing the song Sweet Hour of Prayer, if that seems silly to you to have an hour speaking with God in your day because you're too busy, then that's why my videos are too long to you. Because when somebody's been with Jesus, somebody's experienced a move of God, I'm hungry to hear every word they have to say. Because it's about the person I long to be with, that I love, and I spend every moment of my life trying to serve and do right by. So, just something to think about. Every time somebody tells me that my posts are long, my videos are long, when I'm sharing about the goodness of God, they're telling me more about themselves than they are about me. I love y'all. Keep spreading God's love.